like to call the June 19th, 2014 regular town board meeting to order. And I'd like everybody to rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Here.
Councilman Perdicone.
Here.
Councilman Seeley. Councilwoman Scrobach.
Present.
Supervisor Bello.
Present.
And attorney for the town.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay. For the first order of business tonight is the supervisor's remarks and announcements, and I have several announcements that I'd like to make tonight about some events that are coming up and some exciting things happening this summer at Town Hall. First, for anyone who's here tonight, you've noticed our farmers markets have begun and are going extraordinarily well. I hear we're already up to about 1,200 people tonight just before 7 o'clock. So we have a good crowd out there today. So it's we have some great vendors and performers and lots of good things happening. It's a wonderful way to spend your summer evenings with family, friends, and neighbors. And it's open every Thursday this summer on the Town Hall campus starting at 4 o'clock. So we welcome you here on Thursdays at 4 o'clock. Next week, on June 26th, the market at the Farmers Market will have the Shop Irondequoit, sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. Shop Irondequoit will host many local Irondequoit businesses as they showcase their goods and services. And again, Shop Irondequoit is next Thursday at 4 o'clock right here at Town Hall campus as part of the Farmers Market. Also on Thursday evenings, starting next month, right here at Town Hall, we'll be hosting our Movies Under the Stars. And our first movie this year is pretty exciting to a lot of kids at home, and we'll be featuring the movie Frozen. And we're going to show that on Thursday night, July 10th at 8:30 in the evening. So again, that's July 10th at 8:30. We'll be showing the movie Frozen right outside. We're also thankful to Stepping Stones Learning Center for sponsoring the movie, and to the Irondequoit Pediatrics for sponsoring the guest appearances that evening. And we're going to be very pleased to welcome that night, because of Irondequoit Pediatrics, special performance and by Elsa and Anna. So Elsa and Anna from Frozen will be joining us for the movie. We're also going to be showing later this summer Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs on July 31st and Monsters University on August 21st. And all of the movies are going to begin at about 8:30. We're also looking forward to a summer full of music here. Coming up this Tuesday night, June 24th at 7:15, the Irondequoit Concert Band will play at the Gazebo. And then on Sunday afternoons through August 17th, the Gazebo will showcase more of our community's musical talent. These concerts are on Sunday afternoons, and they begin at 2:30 in the afternoon, right here again at the Gazebo on the Town Hall campus. Also upcoming is the Irondequoit Art Trail. The Irondequoit Art Trail opens on Friday, July 25th, and from 5:30 to 8:30, and then also on Saturday, July 26th, from 11 to 4. The Irondequoit Art Trail is a group of independent artists living and showing in Irondequoit who have gathered together in unison for 2 nights, opening up their homes and studio spaces to show you their works of art. So I encourage everyone in Irondequoit to please participate. There will be more details available on the town's website at www.irondequoit.org. And of course, we're also looking forward to our annual 4th of July festival on July 3rd and July 4th. The 4th of July festivities will continue as usual right here on the Town Hall campus. Crafters and vendors set up throughout the festival, including the beverage area. We will have the beer garden this year. With lots of activities also for the kids, though. We have youth performers, showcases, and a street dance on Thursday night. There is a 2-mile fun run and a 10K race that's going to take place on Friday morning, July 4th. And then, of course, our parade will begin Friday at 11 a.m. Registration forms for the races for the 4th of July are available on the town's website at www.irondequoit.org, or they're available by calling Town Hall at 336-6070. Also tonight, we have a few updates that I want to share with the community relative to the brand-new library being built on the Town Hall campus. A couple months ago, we had announced that we worked with the local school districts to make use and repurpose some of the trees that had to come down on the Town Hall campus to make room for the library. And they're going to repurpose some of those trees for amenities right here to put right back here in the library. And so the milling of the wood with the West Irondequoit students has begun. And so we're showing some pictures there on the screen of that process undertaking. So the milling's begun. The students are already working very hard on the projects, and it's pretty exciting that we're able to make some use of those trees. Another announcement about the library is the library board is actually seeking input now on a wood carving structure that is also going to be included in the library. There's a pretty large piece of wood that we could use to make a sculpture that's going to be with our library for a long time. And they're seeking input on what that sculpture should be and ideas from the community. So there's a form on our website, again, rondequoit.org, where you can submit your ideas on what types of carvings you'd like to see in the library. There's also a form available for those who are here tonight right by the door, on the table by the door when you came in. So there's some handouts available, and I encourage anyone, if you have ideas on things that we could carve and put in the new library, I would encourage you to please share your thoughts. And lastly tonight, we've done something I think we're all very proud of. In order to show the community the results of their hard work in building the library and the progress that we've been making, we have installed, thanks to Nate Stone, who works very, very hard here for us, we've installed a camera pointed right down at the site of the new library so that we can take a time-lapse video and get to see the progress that's being made so that the community can be invited in and see the progress and all the hard work that's going on. And so tonight, now that the work has started and you can see the trucks and the progress being made, we thought we'd showcase and debut the first showing of the time lapse today. So we're going to stop for just a second, and I think if you look at the video screen there, you'll be able to see the first minute and the first couple weeks of the library construction. Awesome. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nate, and thank you to the whole library team for putting that together. It's not every day you get to see this type of project, this significant of a building getting built from the ground up right before your very eyes. And so it's my hope that we're going to be able to continue to do this time lapse right on until the ribbon cutting of the building next year. So every month we'll be able to show you a new video at the town board meetings. So those are my remarks and announcements. Well, actually, the next remarks, I'm actually going to invite a guest speaker to come up and address the board and the people who are here and the folks at home. We recently had completed the 2013 audit by the town's auditors, Freed Maxick. And I've asked we met at our town board workshop with the town board members, a representative from Freed Maxick, to go through the audit and entertain a number of questions from the town board members. They also had a presentation with our audit committee, who I'll thank in just a few minutes. But what I did want to ask for the town board meeting tonight was for Laura Landers from Freed Maxick to come in tonight and give a presentation again to the town board, but also a presentation to the public, so that you can see firsthand the financial condition of the town and the results of the 2013 audit. So I think at this point I'm going to ask the town board members to actually go down and take a seat in the audience. We're going to do a PowerPoint presentation, and I'll invite Laura Landers to come forward to the microphone. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Laura, you want this now?
Like this bank lights, maybe? There we go.
This should be okay, right?
Yes. Oh, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Okay, as the supervisor did say, I'm Laura Landers. I'm a partner with Freed Maxick in charge of our Governmental Services Practice Unit, and we did conduct an audit of the town's financial statements for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2013, and we did present to the audit committee of the town and also at a work session for the town board. And just a brief, our audit was conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, and we issued what we call an unmodified opinion, which means that the financial statements materially represent the financial position and the operations of the town for the year ending December 31st, 2013. These slides are, the information on these slides are condensed information from those financial statements, and they represent the general fund, which is the operating fund of the town. We do have at the end a couple slides showing the highway fund and also sewer fund, but these slides that are the graphs right here are from the town's general fund. So just to overview, these are the last 5 years, so starting in 2009, and we're looking at budgeted revenues down on the bottom here versus the actual revenues. And as you can see, we got to 2011, that the actual revenues started exceeding the budget revenues, and part of that was that the improving economy, and one of the economically sensitive, well, actually two economically sensitive revenues, which is sales tax and mortgage tax, did start to increase as far as the actual revenues that were received by the town as the economy improved. Mortgage tax, more sales on new homes, people refinancing, and sales tax, just consumer spending. So that is really where that started to pick up. And as you could see, it was even better in 2012, and in 2013, we still had an excess of actual revenues over budgeted to the tune of about 600 and some thousand, and the majority of that being sales tax and mortgage tax, again, as the economy continues to improve. But management and the board, they continue to budget these economically sensitive revenues conservatively, as that should be, because you just don't know what is going to happen. And sales tax, like I said, it could decrease significantly if things turned around in the economy. This next slide is, again, expenditures, budget to actual over the last 5 years. And you can see that historically, this is the actual line, has been less than the budgeted line. But really, when you look at it overall, I just ran up what the average was, and the average over the 5 years that actual expenditures were less than budgeted was about $750,000. Really, what that represents is less than 4% of what your budgeted appropriations are, expenditures, which over those 5 years averaged about $18.5 million. So I'd say very good budgeting as far as on the expenditure side. Really to maintain that, very close as far as the actual to budget on that. And this slide just shows the actual revenues to expenditures, and over the last 5 years, revenues have exceeded expenditures, and this has allowed the town to restore the fund balance as seen on the, it's not the next slide, but the slide after that, to the level as approved in the town's fund balance policy. The town a few years ago adopted a fund balance policy, which is actually recommended by Government Finance Officers Association and also the regulatory agencies that deal with issuing of debt for the town. That adoption of a fund balance policy is showing a fiscally responsible policy to establish. So as you can see, this is where the actual expenditures have been less than the revenues, which have then generated these surpluses over the last 5 years. Most recent year, 2013, surplus was $940,000. That's excess of revenues over expenditures. Over the 5-year period, that surplus has averaged out about $1 million, and you'll see that on the next slide, which shows the town's fund balance. And what we're looking at here is, what's the important line is this one right here, which is the unassigned fund balance. If we actually went back the year before that, I think we were about $126,000, this unassigned. So right now, the unassigned is this $4,257,000, which represents about 23% of the expenditures for the current year. The town's fund balance policy states that the fund balance should be somewhere in the range more than 5% up to somewhere around 20%. So it just in this year got to about 3 percentage points over what was recommended. So what we had discussed was in the work session and also with the audit committee is that looking at in other situations, other municipalities, we would also have an area here where we would have for reserves that would be established under general municipal law. And there are various reserves that the town could establish. The town has historically not had reserves, and we discussed the possibility of the board and management reviewing reserves that are available under general municipal law and possibly establishing reserves and using some of that $4.2 million to fund those reserves maybe for future capital projects so that there would be limited borrowing that would be needed for those capital projects into the future. This slide is just an excerpt from the financial statements showing the balance sheet of the general fund. And I guess what I wanted to point out here is that this fund is in very good financial position. Assets $7.6 million versus liabilities of $1.9 million. And there's that $4,257,000 as the unassigned fund balance. This is the same balance sheet for the highway fund. Again, you know, good financial position. We have assets, $1,118,000 versus liabilities of about $552,000. So in all cases, and you'll see in the next one, the sewer fund also, $2,752,000 versus $913,000 for liabilities. What we're looking at is, are there sufficient assets available to timely pay for the liabilities of the town? And as you can see, that there certainly are. So that really does contribute to the town's financial position. And also, just, you know, wanted to state that in the management discussion analysis that's part of the financial statements of the town, the comptroller has indicated in there that Moody's, which is one of the rating agencies for the town, has elevated their outlook, correct, Annie, to positive, from stable to a positive outlook. You know, when you hear about all of the negative news out there, the Detroits of the world and other municipalities that are filing bankruptcy, what a wonderful thing for the town to have that come out, that there's a positive outlook when they review, and they review these financial statements. The audited financial statements are sent to the rating agencies, and they review them in detail. And one of the things that they do look at are these numbers right down here. Those fund balance numbers that we talked about. They look at those and they say, are these improving? Are you using fund balance? And that's one of the indicators that would, I guess, drive that positive outlook. So I guess that is it, and I just want to thank the comptroller and her office staff for again making this a very timely report to be able to be here in June. They had everything available. We really start in January with preliminary work. We're out here the beginning of April, and we're meeting with the audit committee the end of May, so that they can review the financial statements in detail. That's about a 2-hour meeting, and then to be able to come here to present to the board. So thank you very much.
No, I wouldn't.
Yelling out there.
Okay, thank you, Laura, for that presentation. As I indicated before, there was a lot of work had gone into this audit before by a whole number of people, and before I give the town board members an opportunity if they had any further questions, I do want to thank the town board for their work and diligence in reviewing the audit, particularly at our workshop meeting last week, where we had a very in-depth analysis of the town audit, and so I want to thank them. I want to thank Freed Maxick and Laura for your hard work and diligence, as well as the audit committee. We have an audit committee made up of 4 residents in Arundecoit who met with the auditors back in the end of May, and went through the audit with a fine-tooth comb and really looked to make sure that it was a fair representation of our financial status and to ask a whole number of questions. And so I really do want to thank Matt Quinlan, Rachel Adonis, Don Sinton, and Mike Ostrander for their time and work on behalf of the town. I also want to thank Annie Seeley and her staff for all their diligence and work, not just in putting, helping the auditors be able to do their work, but also for the fact that the news that we heard tonight is good news, and that the town is doing very well. And so that's a testament to the hard work you're doing, Annie. So thank you for that. And also Diana Marsh in the Comptroller's office for all her work, working with Laura and just the rest of the Comptroller staff, Rick Cecchi and Tony Dambra, and for all the work they do. So I did want to thank them and thank everybody. And Laura, before you leave, did the town board members have any follow-up questions or anything from tonight that they wanted to ask? No? Okay.
I just have
Yeah.
some comments.
Yeah,
So
sure.
When I was reading the report, I thought there were some really interesting facts that were given, so I think I'll take the opportunity of saying something. Some of the financial highlights I found interesting on page 1 as had mentioned, that our town exceeded liabilities, and that was 1.37% from 2012. That was great. The bonded debt decreased, and that was, no new serial bonds were issued. That was very positive. The general fund, 2013 year ended, the fund balance increased from 2012 by 19.8%. I thought percent was good. As reading through, I also found it interesting that, I'll find it. The town's constitutional debt limit was given, and the statement on April 7th, the town is using 8.9% of the limit, which is indicatively good. Very good, as you had, and the Moody's informational piece, that's great. Now we're very positive. No serial bonds, again, were issued, which is very, very good, making 2013 strong. And the sales tax revenue was 30.8% higher than in 2010. That's huge. That is huge. So, and I found that something I don't really understand is the cable TV fee. So does that mean more people are using satellite? That we haven't gotten as much, revenue from cable fees, right? Is that it?
The franchise fee?
Yeah.
Yes, those
Yeah,
are
so
down.
that
That's
went
the less
down, and I'm
people
like,
who use,
okay.
subscribe to cable TV.
Right, so that was like 4.8%. So it dropped slightly. And an interesting statement that was given was the in-town facility of the Kings Park, where Rochester General Hospital it's a tax exempt, but the outlook is positive because it provides Irondequoit area with 850 jobs there. So then these people disperse and use businesses in Irondequoit to eat and purchase products. Exactly. And so, and interestingly so, there was a statement stated here that it should, because of that, it should attract medically related property tax paying small businesses to Irondequoit. So I think that would be interesting to track and see what small medically related businesses have been established since that transfer, and kind of like track it and see what other future businesses are going to be up and coming. So I thought that was really great. And so another statement that was made, that the policy of the town is to be proactive in managing its infrastructure and improvement projects and their costs, so that it carefully measured steps that are taken to maintain public assets without placing unreasonable burdens on property taxpayers and special district ratepayers. So I think those are all positive. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Irina. Any other board members have a comment to make?
I just, besides the obvious, it's a great audit. I think that, like you said, it takes a lot into consideration, especially when we're budgeting, the effect on the economy. It seems like it's finally turning around here, which is a good thing, This is proof that it is turning around, and it's good that the economy is getting better. But going through budgets, those are tough. The mortgage tax and sales tax, those are tough things to budget. And it's a good thing that we budgeted them the way we did, but it looks at the economy right now has turned a corner here, and it's good for all for that. So glad to see it.
It's all very positive and wonderful, and I just want to commend the comptroller again for her hard work and making it easier for our auditors, but also making it clear to us all the way along the year, because I didn't see any surprises, when it was presented, because you had been keeping us up to speed on so many of the fund balance transfers and so forth, so thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate it. I'd also like to commend our auditor. Not only does she report and provide the audit, we use her for advice as well. So we use that forward perspective. So, and I like to, most people think of auditors as being bean counters and pulling it all together. Well, they do that. They do that very well, but there's also some upfront conversations that we have.
That's right. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. The next agenda item is public input. We have one speaker signed up to speak tonight, and that is Diane Stark.
Good evening, Diane Stark, 538 Shelford Road. I showed up this month, had a little problem last month, saw myself on TV being asked to speak up. I was like, so. That's kind of a hard act to follow, all the money they save, but I'm representing the Friends here, and last month on May 3rd, the Friends of the Irondequoit Public Library held a fun fest and trunk sale right here on the Town Hall campus. In spite of the on-again, off-again rain that sprinkled us throughout the day, the event was a rousing success. We had over 40 garage sailors and crafters on the grounds, as well as food vendors, face painter, musician, a magician, and a number of old-fashioned games for the children who enjoyed digging through the prize box for that special treasure to take home. And I had to limit it to 5 prizes after a while because they were having a ball. A number of people commented on the fact that they've never been through the blacksmith shop or the Pioneer House and were pleased to find them open. A lot of people didn't even know they were on the property. As always, an event such as this takes a great deal of work on the part of many people, as well as the support and generosity of our numerous sponsors. The Friends wish to extend a special thank you to Ann and Peter Kelderhouse Sr., who have so generously and consistently supported us in all our events, past and present. Others who deserve a special thanks are Wegmans, Tops, Reliant Community Credit Union, and Titus Mowers, along with many other supportive businesses and generous individuals in Irondequoit. We also cannot say enough about the cooperation we received from everyone at the Town Hall who helped us through the process of planning this event by giving us advice, meeting with one or more of our board members, making phone calls or emails for us, and even promising us that the newly widened Columbus Way would be freshly blacktopped and ready for us to use. Actually, the person who promised us that had a bit of a problem with the weather. I was told that he made that promise because he was afraid of the Friends. I don't know why he's afraid of the Friends, because we are named the Friends after all. And the only contract we signed, as far as I know, was for insurance purposes and not on his life. So again, thank you to everyone, volunteers, anyone who participated, vendors, people at Town Hall, for helping this to be such a success. And it was because of you. Thank you so very much.
All right.
And
Thanks,
a
Diane.
reminder, this Tuesday, the Friends are having their annual meeting at the Evans Branch downstairs in the meeting room. The invitations have gone out to everyone on our list.
And what time is that?
And that is from 6:30 to 8:30. And members of the library board will be there to give an update on the new library. And if you are not yet a member of the Friends, we'll let you in and we'll take your money. It's only $10 for individual to join.
Fantastic.
Thanks for listening.
Great. Thank you, Diane. Who could be afraid of that? Was there anyone else who wanted to address the board tonight but did not have a chance to sign up? No? Okay. I think that closes public input.
Next item is the financial report.
As of May 31st, 2014, total expenditures and encumbrances for Irondequoit are $13,749,000, equating to 43.3% of budget. And that's slightly higher than the 41.7% of the year that has elapsed. The 43.3 breaks down as follows. Actual expenditures are 36.7% of budget, $11,678,000. Encumbrances of $2,071,000 represents 6.5% of the budget. Encumbrances are typically high at this time of year as the departments continue to commit to supplies, services, and commodities that will be needed during the year. The general fund expenses of $7,584,000 equate to 41.2% of budget, and that's basically on target with the 41.7% of the year that has elapsed. Encumbrances in the general fund are $952,000. However, the actual expenditures of $6,632,000 account for the majority of the cost. Collectively, the highway fund expenses total $3,409,000, 59.8% of budget, and that's above the percent of the year that has elapsed. As you might expect, due to the coarse winter this year, Highway 4, the Winter Maintenance Fund, has incurred considerable expenditures to date. Highway 1 has sizable encumbrances for gas, fuel, and asphalt. And in Highway 3, installment debt and equipment parts contribute to the higher than budgeted expenditures in that fund. The other major funds reflect expenditures that are below the percent of the year that has elapsed. The library is under budget at 39.1%, a total of $754,000. The sewer fund remains under budget at 35.8% of budget. And that equates to $1,379,000. And the total expenses in stormwater drainage are $160,000, and that's 20.3% of budget. Regarding revenue, the general fund has received $11,687,000, 64% of budget. As previously reported, 100% of tax revenue has been received. The pilot revenue that is currently due is in. In May, the town received sales tax revenue of $450,000 for January and February of 2014, along with $408,000 that was applied to 2013. For the entire town, $23.4 million, 74.2% of revenue has been received to date. $16.3 million of that amount is real estate tax. The library has recorded 94.5% of its revenue, a total of $1,823,000. $4.9 million of highway revenue is in, and that's 86.1% of that budget. Sewer has received 99.3% of its revenue budget, which equates to $3,805,000. This concludes the financial report as of the end of May 2014.
Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
Approval of minutes, May 8, 2014, the workshop meeting.
Is there a motion?
Moved.
And a second? Any questions or changes to make? Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
May 15, 2014, the regular town board meeting.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Any comments or edits to make? No? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Items for board action. Item 6A, 2014-1, authorizing the appointment of a Board of Assessment Review member.
Can I have a motion? And a second?
And a second.
Real quick, Enza, can you just give a quick explanation of the resolution?
It's actually just an amendment of, we've already appointed Anita, but she was actually going to be completing a term of 2 years. So this is just saying that we have appointed her, but instead of a 5-year term, she's actually finishing up a 5-year term. It's only 2 years. So that's what that is.
Fantastic. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-2, authorizing the hiring of a laborer in the Arundecoy Public Works Department.
Can I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Patrick, can you just say a couple words about this position and appointment, please?
Yes, let's see here, get to the right notes here. On June 5th, we interviewed a handful of applicants interested in the labor position currently open. Of the applicants interviewed, we concurred that Trevor Bliss was our best candidate at the time. Trevor, after our face-to-face interviews, we talked with each of our working foremen for each applicant. For all of those that had work experience with him, all had favorable remarks. Trevor has worked for the town in 2012 and 2013 during the summer seasons in good standing and has experience in both the Parks and Public Works Department. Also to note, Trevor is currently working on finishing his associate's degree in natural resource conservation. Trevor has really been a pleasure to work with over the last 2+ years now, and really feel he's going to be a great asset to our department, and really look forward to having him on board. We also, we don't always hire town residents, but I'm happy to say that Trevor is a town resident, and hope that he can make a career here and eventually stay and have a family here.
Great. Thanks, Pat. Any questions or comments from the board? No? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. And Trevor and his family joined us tonight, and I'd just like to recognize Trevor and congratulations on your new appointment. Awesome.
Item 6A, 2014-3, authorizing the hiring of an office clerk 3 in the Developmental Services Department of the Town of Arundecoy.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? No? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-4, authorizing lease of copiers to replace copiers used by the Department of the Courts and the Public Walk-Up copier in the Town Hall.
Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
As the clerk indicated, this is for the lease of the copiers to be used by the public at the town hall and the courts. Are there any questions or comments? No? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-5, authorizing attendance at the Advanced Active Shooters Scenario Tactics and Operations Training.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Chief, could you just give a quick explanation of the training
Absolutely.
opportunity here? Thank you.
Yes. This is going to be hosted by the National Center for Security and Preparedness and the State of New York Preparedness Training Center in Oriskany, New York. It's scenario-based training which will involve a mix of situations that could involve first responders, IED awareness, task force movement, patient evacuation, door breaching skills, and room clearing techniques. This will certainly build upon the skill set that our personnel have been provided with at the local level. The cost is free for tuition and lodging, and will only be an estimated cost of $250 for travel and meals for the 2 officers that will be there for 3 days.
Great. Thank you, Chief. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-6, authorizing the award of Somerville's Sewer Replacement Program.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Patrick, would you mind, again, giving an explanation here of
Sure.
this project? Thank you.
The Department of Public Works is pleased to present a resolution to the board that includes the replacement of sanitary sewers in the Somerville area. The contract will replace sanitary sewers that service approximately 51 homes in the area of Parkview Terrace, Wabash Avenue, Lake Terrace, Beach Terrace, and Beach Avenue. Additionally, upgrades will be made to the storm sewers that will eliminate the need for illegal sump pump connections that currently exist in the neighborhood that contribute to sanitary system overloads and heavy rain events. The project is anticipated to be completed by the fall, and other upgrades such as repaving and new sidewalks not part of this contract are anticipated to be completed as well. I didn't have a chance to speak with you during the workshop. I was out of town at the time. But in talking with Councilwoman Barnum, she had a few questions, and I think maybe with some explanation we'll answer them for her. The project is basically phase one of two or possibly three phases in that area. The sanitary sewers are approximately 100 years old, and they're undersized, they leak, there's many deficiencies. So we're going to completely replace those sewers. Prior to us doing this project, the Water Authority has been in there and made upgrades to their systems. We've done some other smaller improvements in the area, and so the neighborhood has been torn up a number of times in the last few years. So what we're going to do is the sanitary sewers, we're going to make upgrades to the storm sewers, and like I said, not part of this contract, but through county contracts that we can use, we'll be redoing all of the roads and replacing all of the sidewalks, which are currently 4 feet wide, and we'll make them the standard and approved 5 feet wide in the neighborhood. And we'll do those for each phase. So it will be a complete project. We will be getting rid of all the potholes and patches and all of the work that's been going on the last few years, and the scars from all of those works should disappear as part of this project.
Great. Thanks, Patrick.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain all that. We did have, some concerns about it. And the timing on it, I asked you a little bit, and I'm hoping that it will take place after July 14th, because that's when the International Regatta is, and we want our town to look great, I think, for that. So, and you think it will be?
I don't know the answer to that,
Okay.
but I will take note of that, and
Okay, thank
we'll
you.
make sure that we'll work something out to
That would
to
be
make
great.
to address those concerns. And one of the other things I didn't mention is this is a capital project that's been that's part of our CIP plan, and we do have approximately, I think, $1.2 million earmarked for this project, and this contract is for approximately $685,000. So the other monies in the capital program will be used for the sidewalks and the road work that's not part of this contract.
Great, then we can start saving up for another 100 years when we need to replace it again, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
It'll be after I'm done here.
All right, thanks, Lori, and thanks, Patrick, for all your work on this, and to the DPW staff. I saw firsthand, this project a long time coming, and something that's critical for that neighborhood and the whole Somerville neighborhood up there. I saw firsthand just last month we had a significant rain event. Several inches fell, and I had the opportunity to go into a number of residents invited me in to see the damage that was done by flooding, and walk through some of the streets, and it definitely underscored the need for a project like this. So I'm glad that we've been able to work towards a solution for those folks and those residents to provide a significant upgrade to their neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So you should be commended for that, Patrick, and your whole staff, Bob Kiley, and everyone else. So thank you, and Ann Doler. Anyone else have any questions or comments? No? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-7, authorizing the purchase of 2 Super Cab pickup trucks to be used by the Department of Public Works.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Any questions or comments from the board? For discussion? No? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-8, authorizing the contract for structural steelwork for the Town of Arundequoit and building the Arundequoit Public Library.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. And this is the first of three resolutions relative to the building of the new public library. I'm going to ask Councilman Perdicone to give a brief description of the work that's being done with this particular resolution.
Yeah, the site and civil, we already approved that as far as the foundations as well. So the next one up was the structural steel. We had to get this out relatively early because they have to basically manufacture the steel. It's kind of customized for the building, so that's something that's a few weeks out to get that ordered. But this is all part of the steel, and once you see steel swinging, you have a building to be built. So it's really good. Progress is going real well. I'll just want to talk briefly. This way I don't have to talk on all of them. This is, it's been part of a strategy that the importance was to get the site work out, to get the foundations, to get the steel, and then to get the framing package, which I'll talk a little bit on there, because we want the project and the building to be enclosed by probably sometime between Thanksgiving and the holidays, so work can continue through the winter. And I think we're on that. The strategy's working. We're on that path. And I think that's something it's going to be fulfilled, and it's going to be going on. This way we can get interior working. And that camera you saw today, we'll put it on the inside during that too. So that's just a warning to all the guys working on the job. Just keep working and going. So that'll be good. But it'll be good. But yeah, that'll be on the inside of the building. But the strategy's working, the process is working, and I think things are on target right now. It's really well.
We're still on time and on budget, right, John?
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. And the proof is in the pudding. You can see it right outside on the town hall grounds. So, any questions or comments about this resolution? Or no? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-9, authorizing the contract for exterior framing work for the Town of Arundequoit and building the Arundequoit Public Library.
Is there a
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments in addition to what Councilman Perdicone had?
I did just want to say who won the bids.
Oh, sure.
The steel bid went to Raymar Steel, and the exterior framing bid went to Accurate Acoustical.
Okay.
Both are local firms that were the lowest responsible bidder.
Thanks. Any other questions or comments?
No, I noticed that they were local. That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We had one bid from Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
one of the steel contractors.
that.
Yeah, he's from Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-10, authorizing the contract for special testing work for the Town of Arundequoit and building the Arundequoit Public Library.
So moved.
A second? Any comments? Or
Yeah, I'll just make a comment on the
Discussion.
testing
Yep.
part, and probably there's a lot of people at the meeting don't realize it, that, this is part of special inspections is part of the job. I mean, everything gets inspected, your earthwork, your backfill, the concrete gets inspected, the mortar gets inspected, masonry will get inspected, the steel especially will get inspected if there's welding, and the install as well as some of the welding. So it's part of the project that needs to be done, but it has to be done because you have to have somebody making sure that everything's properly assembled and being on the way for the library to be a good project. Like right now, anything getting backfilled out there is getting inspected, so that's good. It's all part of the project.
Thanks, John. And again, this contract went through the RFP process, and so again, we had the selection committee met and interviewed a number of firms and did their due diligence to interview so that we only got the best and the brightest services and nothing but first-tier services for Arundequoit and for the new library. So I want to thank again the selection committee for their hard work.
And this bid went to, this RFP went to SJB.
SJB. Great. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? No. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Item 6A, 2014-11, approving the special event license for Genesee Valley Harriers Running Club for the Rochester River Chase.
Have a motion?
Moved.
In a second? Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Everybody okay? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. And actually, before we move on, I did just want to say one thing. The Genesee Valley, I should have said this before we voted, but the Genesee Valley Harriers Running Club River Chase is going to take place on Saturday, August 16th. From 8 a.m. to 11 o'clock. It looks like a very interesting event, a good run, and a good race. So if anyone's interested, please contact the Harriers Running Club for more information on the event. So, with that, pursuant to New York Public Officers Law, Section 105, I want to move to enter into executive session to discuss Burson Properties, LLC versus the County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. We are going to, the town board is going to be moving into the conference room to conduct an executive session, and we're going to return to the Broderick room as soon as the executive session closes to resume the last resolution, or to take up the last resolution on the agenda. Okay, thank you. last agenda item, Barb.
I need a motion to.
Oh, do we need, do you want to do a motion? All right, motion to reconvene.
Moved.
And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Okay, item 6A, 2014-12, authorizing legal action.
All right, can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second. All right, thank you. As certainly the board members know, as does the public, that on June 10th, the town of Arundequoit was served a summons to answer a complaint by Burson Properties LLC versus the County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency. This resolution is the town board's authorization for the town attorney, Harder, Seacrest, and Emery, to answer the complaint and do what is necessary to defend the town of Arundequoit and our interests relative to the Medley Center property, the pilot agreement, and all other issues relating to that. And so this resolution authorizes our town attorney to represent the town. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. And that is the last resolution on the agenda. The next workshop meeting is July 10th, 2014, and the next regular town board meeting is July 17th, 2014 at 7 o'clock. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn? In a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. We're adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Arundequoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Arundequoit's government access channel.